How do you know when it's time to reinvent yourself? Before you start getting anxious about what that really means, it doesn't mean saying goodbye to the person you are now. It's determining what parts of you don't need to move forward to get you closer to the person that you want to be. What are the parts of you that you want to peel off and leave in the rearview mirror? It's a question that many people ask themselves but aren't sure how to answer. You must know this will require you to be responsible. Responsible for your decisions, with a willingness to accept the consequences and learning to navigate unpredictability that comes when leaving the beaten path to write your own new story. When we're committed to doing the work of reinvention is when we are more willing to do things like embracing uncertainty, welcoming chaos, and navigating unexpected changes, with the faith and confidence in our ability to handle what life brings us. The last episode, we spoke to why people might want to reinvent themselves, with ideas such as personal growth, feeling the need to be truly who you are, and creating new identities when life transitions come. There are some stages in life when we notice when it's not uncommon for reinvention to happen, and I'd like to unpack a few of those with you. First is young adulthood. There's some significant life transitions happening right then when we finish our education, find a job, or start families. It's requiring a shift in priorities because we're looking at our goals and making decisions, realizing what we've been doing up to now is not what we're going to be able to do moving forward. Things we used to enjoy are no longer going to be pertinent when we realize they're not really getting us anywhere. This time of reinvention lets us change our careers. We might relocate or even pursue further education. The next stage is midlife. Now, we've all heard about the midlife crisis. It's a period of reflection and evaluation in which we ask, is this all there is? It's during this time, again, we're reassessing goals, values, and priorities. And when we decide we want something different, it may spark the idea of reinvention. It's also a time when many people have reached mastery in their career, their skills, and their expertise. And as humans, we are wired to want to pursue to grow. And it's in this stage that we have a time for career shifts, lifestyle changes, and chasing new passions. It's about pursuing what you came here to do. And when you're no longer learning, you feel like you can't stay in the same place. It goes back to the saying, learning is the oxygen of human growth. Another time that might spark the idea to reinvent yourself would be when you're involved in a career transition. Now, this can happen anywhere from your 20s to 50s, but there's milestones that we have, such as job loss and burnout or desire for fulfillment in our work. It can happen at various stages in our careers as people look for new opportunities, changing industries, or even starting their new business. Then we have traditional retirement age. This can be a time of major life change, but simply stopping work isn't an option for many, especially if they don't have any hobbies. Many people will continue to work because they enjoy the feeling of being productive and keeping their mind sharp when they do. It can allow you to remain connected to people and boost that emotional health and create a sense of belonging. It's during this time, however, that many choose to reinvent themselves to find a path of personal fulfillment and continuous growth. Those who no longer choose to do traditional work can find themselves with a lot of time on their hands. They can pick up a hobby, learn new skills, travel, or even do volunteer work. And they now have the time to chase a dream they couldn't do when they were working. It's an opportunity to find a way to bring meaning and purpose to their lives. And there's also the question of, what can I do to be happy? Now, there's no age for this one. It's based on your experience, your attitude, your circumstances, and individual mindset. And besides the stages we talked about, those are some ideas, but we also have major life transitions, such as a loss of a job or loss of a partner, a health crisis, or even a major milestone birthday. For some, an awakening happens, asking, what am I here and what am I supposed to do? This can lead to introspection and a search for fulfillment and meaning in life. There also may be some reinvention connection to the brain, the way our brains are wired, right? So short-term memory gets better by age 25 and then starts to decline by age 35. Our emotional understanding peaks in middle to late adulthood, and by the time we're in our 60s and 70s, our vocabularies have increased and we have what's called crystallized intelligence. But I want to address something that's worth calling out. We have these 30 under 30 or 40 under 40 awards, and we celebrate those achievements at youth that other people may reach organically later in life. These lists, while interesting, leave these people with a benchmark on their life that they have to try and reach later. And they can't. It's kind of like the high school quarterback who relives his glory days, remembering that wonderful time in their life, and then don't have anything else to look forward to. We need to celebrate people who break rank, who have the courage to walk away from a trauma-filled relationship or a toxic workplace and start their life over. Or someone who at age 50 decides to discover who they really are. Or maybe someone who always wanted to start a business and did it at age 60. Age is just a number and you're never too old, yet our society gets really hung up on age. We have 5 generations in the workplace, each bringing their own unique contributions from their life experience. But we feel stuck when we see age as a limitation instead of the asset that it is. In our youth, we have this experience that later we end up reinventing ourselves because of the choices we made, because we wanted approval for others. It leads us to bad relationships, careers, and actually situations where we want to get out of. But what if you took your experiences from heartbreak and rejection, mistakes that you made, and in our ability to grow old and find joy, we looked at it as wisdom? You can start over at any age and find freedom to be who you are. You can welcome your future self and say goodbye to the version of you that you created to survive or just make other people happy. You can tell your younger self, I'm doing this for us. Any age, any time, you have the power to choose you. If you're interested in exploring this topic of reinventing yourself, be sure to check out the show notes and join the So Much More community where I send tips and insights to inspire you to live a life of so much more. I'm also planning an introductory session to help people discover if reinvention might be the next step for them. And if you made it this far, I trust you got what you needed. I would love it if you would leave a review and subscribe to the show. Not sure how to leave a review? Check out the podcast page on my website. And until next week, show up with passion, share your purpose, and build it into your personal brand of integrity. That's how you can live a life of so much more on the way to discovering your legendary self.